The doomsday clock 1 minute closer to midnight, Russia is raising the stakes in response to the new U.S.-led plan to station tanks and heavy artillery in NATO member states. Vladimir Putin just announced Russia will be adding 40 new intercontinental ballistic missiles to its nuclear arsenal. NATO boss Jens Stoltenberg calls it saber-rattling. And Putin, flanked by military officers, said his, quote, 40 new intercontinental ballistic missiles will be able to overcome even the most technically advanced anti-missile defense systems. Take a look.
More than 40 new intercontinental ballistic missiles able to overcome even the most technically advanced anti-missile defense systems will be added to the makeup of the nuclear arsenal this year.
Swift to denounce Putin, Stoltenberg responded.
This nuclear saber-rattling of Russia is unjustified, it's destabilizing, and it's dangerous.
As we reported a few weeks ago, NATO was testing a new intercontinental ballistic missile system in Europe while U.S. NATO troops were aggressively training all along the Russian border. And most recently, with Operation Saber Strike currently underway with 6,000 troops, and Operation Hedgehog just a month ago with 13,000 troops. Just yesterday, Russian officials warned that Moscow would retaliate if the United States carried out its plan to store heavy military equipment in Eastern Europe, including in the former Soviet states. The same day Operation Saber Strike began.
The Saber Strike 2015 Field Training Exercise, or FTX, has begun. Units from America, Lithuania, and Germany test their compatibilities and interoperability by splitting up units from each nation and creating a multinational offense and defense.
And so the new arms race begins. At a Russian arms fair, Deputy Defense Minister Anatoly Anatov was quoted as saying, "The feeling is that our colleagues from NATO countries are pushing us into an arms race." So where does Russia plan to point its new ballistic missiles? Putin said, quote, "We will be forced to aim our armed forces at those territories from where the threat comes." This is more than simple saber rattling. Building 40 new nuclear intercontinental ballistic missiles with a range of 3,400 miles is a direct challenge to the United States and NATO. When questioned about the movement of heavy military equipment into Eastern Europe as a message to Putin, Josh Earnest, the White House press secretary, had these words.
To Vladimir Putin, if it was done.
I think it is a message to the world, most directly to our NATO allies, that the United States is serious about living up to our Article 5 commitments in the context of the NATO treaty.
It's a message to the world that the United States is serious about living up to their commitments to NATO. Not since the Cold War has this kind of posturing been done by global superpowers. The majority of Americans have no clue this is going on. It's our responsibility to inform them. With no end in sight to the escalation, it is feared the tensions will continue to mount until hopefully cooler heads will prevail and World War III isn't triggered. Break this news to your social networks by clicking share and help us grow by subscribing to the channel. Continuing to track the world's armies for you and the Next News Network, I'm Gary Franchi.
Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles of GMS, and salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. The Spirit jumped on me to get into this topic, which I'm going to title, Babylon America is no match for China and Russia, etc. Reason why I'm saying this, one, scripturally, Babylon is America, and according to the Bible, this place is finished. Okay, the Lord is going to destroy it. Also, with the news article that I'm going to present to you, even the heathen themselves are telling on them that America's over. All right. So this is a beautiful article that came out July 1st, 2015. This is according to Business Insider. It says U.S. military morale is reportedly at rock bottom again. Now, this is one of the main reasons why America's finished. If your military is not strong enough, just to let you know, I did serve in Satan's army. I am an ex combat veteran, so I will let you know from my own experience that you need to have a high morale to keep the wars going and keep people able to fight. Okay, so if the morale is low, you ain't having a good army or a good military presence. All right, so this article goes on and says, since 2009, $287 million has been spent on programs. And let me blow it up for you so you can read it. Okay, since 2009, $287 million has been spent on programs at improving morale within the U.S. military, which has shouldered 2 major overseas combat deployments over the past decade. But these efforts may have been largely fruitless, as 52% of soldiers across all branches remain pessimistic about their future in the military, according to an April USA Today report. Now, let's look up the word pessimistic, because, it's pretty interesting. You're not going to be able to see it, but I'll read it to you. This is a dictionary. It says, tending to see the worst aspect of things or believe that the worst will happen. Ooh. And you know what? It's bound to happen, because you've been fighting in these wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and the problem is still persisting. The problem is still there. So obviously, anybody who's still in the military for like the past 10 years, I know personally your morale is shot. Okay? So yes, pessimistic about their future military, according to an April USA Today report. Army morale low despite 6-year, $287 million optimism program. So this is a program that they were using to try to uplift the spiritual realm, which is the morale of the United States military, and it hasn't worked. Okay. And if you want to read that article, I'm gonna put all these links. So I'm just going to show you that. And this article came out April 16, 2015. So this is more proof that America's military shot. Okay, the morale is low. So if their morale is not high, they're not going to want to fight. Okay, or they're just going to drop their weapons like they did. The American military did, but the Iraqi army did when so-called ISIS came in, which you all know that's a CIA operation to begin with. If you don't know that, you ain't right in the head. All right, so let me give you a scripture. This is Isaiah chapter 47, verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne. That's right. All right, America, you're finished. Your throne is done. Okay? If you don't have a strong military, you are finished. Okay? O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Mm-hmm. And people are seeing that. Okay? They're seeing your military's weak. Okay? You're no longer the beacon of strength and power. Okay? And lastly, okay, you just decide to be wicked on all types of levels. All right, coming from Bruce Jenner to passing homosexuality marriage. Okay, so you're no longer tender and delicate. But this topic is mostly on the military aspect. So let's scroll down to Isaiah chapter 47, verse 11. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it rises, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off. You're not going to be able to put it off. You are going to be judged, Babylon, America, okay? And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. And you're not going to know it, because that's when the hour of temptation. There's going to be a time when Russia and China just get fed up, and the Lord's going to put the spirit in them just to press the red button, so to speak, and launch them ICBMs at your front door. Okay. So now let's get into news articles, and we're gonna start out with these clowns right here, just to show you that America's military is weak and even these clowns are telling you. Okay, so right here to the right of me, you have this joker, General Martin Dempsey. Okay, he's the Joint Chief of Staffs. He's an advisor to the President, to the National Security Council, as well as to the Secretary of Defense, who is this bitch-made clown known as Ashton Carter. Okay, and I know I'm supposed to be PC, but sometimes I get aggravated because you have people discuss about the conditions of America and they don't even know who's running the country. Okay, but anyway, this came out of the Pentagon. All right, and this is what this joker had to say. Dempsey final instruction to Pentagon: prepare for a long war. That's right. So this is what he said, quote, "We are more likely to face prolonged campaigns than conflicts that are resolved quickly." So that's one indicator, meaning they ain't able to finish these wars. Perfect example, look at Afghanistan and Iraq. Turmoil. They ain't able, the American military is not able to fix that. Okay? That control of escalation is becoming more difficult. You hear that? That control of escalation is becoming more difficult and more important. That as a hedge against unpredictability, with reduced resources, we may have to adjust our global posture, Dempsey writes in the News Military Strategy. Dempsey, the president's senior military advisor, that's right, he's the highest commissioned officer in the land, all right? So he's telling you this, all right? So all you clowns that can't get it, that think America's going to continue moving forward, and no, this place is done. Dempsey, the president's senior military advisor, criticizes Russia, Iran, North Korea, and China for aggressive military action and warns that the rapidly changing global security environment might force the U.S. military to reorganize as it prepares for a busy future. You're damn right. You're all going to have a busy future, Babylon, okay? Because you're going to crumble inside and out, all right? Now, I believe there's some other meat. Dempsey also warns probability of U.S. involvement in interstate war with a major power is low but growing. He knows America going ahead is going to lock horns, okay, with Russia and China. That's okay. You see that already. You see it. It's happening. All right. So that's enough of this article. Just to throw it out there that even the Joint Chief of Staff is letting you know that America is going to be in these long wars. And they got to reorganize, meaning they ain't ready. Okay, and I'm going to prove why they ain't ready. Let's start with the Stars and Stripes. Okay. Title, A Post-War Arms Race, a Strategic Mistake. Okay, and this came out June 30th of 2015. The Washington Post picked this up. All right. Also, let me get you a scripture. Okay, this is Proverbs 16:18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. And that's the thing, Babylon, America. You are very prideful people, and according to facts, you shouldn't be proud of nothing. Okay, you should humble yourselves down, but you're not. Okay, because the Lord put the spirit, especially in you so-called white people, to not humble yourselves, to be pride, because that's your destruction. Because pride goes before destruction. You're going to be destroyed, so-called white man in America. All right, and you 2/3. All right, so here's why. Let's get it on. Let's keep it moving with current events. All right, because this is coming out of their own mouth from the Stars and Stripes. We will start right here. Quote, if we look at the world environment today, it is more dangerous than the Cold War and more unpredictable. And the ICBM force is as valid today as it was in the 1960s, end quote. Air Force Major General Jack Weinstein, commander of the 20th Air Force, told the House committee Thursday. So your own Major General in the Air Force is saying that it's much dangerous today than it was in the 60s, okay? And ICBM use is just as acceptable or ready to go, in other words, that like it was in 1960s. So guess what? Okay, they're going to use these nukes on each other. Problem is, though, is that America's going to be destroyed 100%, wiped out off the planet. Okay, nobody's going to be inhabiting this place. So that's one. That's another. That's an article. That's one article down. Okay, so let's keep it coming. So let's see why America's military, they're not able to compare to Russia and China. So this is from Sputnik News. Okay, it's another article. This came out June 28th of 2015, and their headline, it says U.S. military incapable of overcoming defenses of Russia, China, and Iran. All right. It says right here, and here's the reason why. In big, bold, black letters so you can read it. The U.S. military has over-invested in weapons which work well for launching attacks on countries like Iraq, Afghanistan, and Syria, but are quite ineffective for countries like Russia and China. Media outlet Flight Global reports. Okay, now here's why they're saying this. Okay, the experts concluded that short-range weapons are only effective when the aircraft can get close to the target, but it's impossible at carrying out large-scale military operations against the enemy, which has high-precision weapons. Now, why is that? Well, for the past 15 years, Babylon America has engaged in combats with the Arabs, with the Ishmael's descendants. Are the Arabs running around with helicopters? No. Are the Arabs running around with tanks? No. Are the Arabs running around with a navy force? No. So that's why it was easy for America to just go in there, okay, and gain a foothold, which they haven't been able to conquer that because, look, it's 15 years and it's still a mess there. So now that's one aspect. Here's another aspect. The American military has been training for small arms fire against IEDs, against lone wolves, okay, against 2 or 3 insurgents, as they call it, okay, people revolting against the authority. They have not been training for a full-fledged combat mission against another nation, okay? They have not been training for that. Hence why NATO's going to collapse, because they have only been engaging in desert-like warfare, in close combat. They haven't been engaging in tanks and helicopter warfare. They have not been doing that. But Russia and China have been training for a very long time. All right, so that's one article. All right, so let me get you a scripture. Okay, this is Mark 13:8. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. America's a kingdom, China's a kingdom, Russia's a kingdom, Iran's a kingdom, and that's what you're seeing, man. You're seeing prophecy being fulfilled. This is, again, Mark 13:8. And there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, which if you just put in earthquakes, you can see nothing but a whole bunch of earthquakes happening all over throughout the 4 corners of the earth. And there shall be famines and troubles, and these are the beginnings of sorrows. Okay? So all praise to Yahweh Shemi Awashai for writing this out for us so that we are prepared mentally for what's going on. All right? So let's get back to another news article. So why is these wars happening? Okay? U.S. prepared for war on China, Russia to save banks, analysts. Okay, this is from the Press TV. This came out May 28th. All right? The United States is... Let me blow this up so you can read this. Okay, the United States is preparing for a possible war against China and Russia aimed at preventing the collapse of the Western banking system. An American political commentator activist says, which is true. See, anytime a nation loses its economic power, it has to go fight so it can continue the making weapons and planes to try to generate the economy back. All right. And we're seeing it now. We're seeing all these nations gathering up for the final battle because not just America, all nations are all in debt. All right. So let me scroll down and give you what it says right here. This is a good thing he said because this makes a lot of sense. It says, quote, Greece is now ready to default. It has made this very clear. The euro will not survive. Obama here at home has failed to reverse the decline in employment, in production, in infrastructure in the United States. And we are now facing a collapse far greater than the 2008 collapse, the analyst said. Okay? So, in other words, America is game over, all right? America is beep, use the F word, all right? And anybody who has any type of common sense can say, wait a minute, man. We are constantly in debt, in perpetual debt, and in perpetual wars. Why is that? All right? Why is that? Well, because America is a very prideful nation, and they think that they're going to rule forever. And so they're going to get into all these debts and create all these numerous conflicts to try to keep their power. And more importantly, that dollar, which is collapsing. So that's an article. And here's another thing why America's over. All right? The morale. It got hacked by 3 different countries. Let's start with the first one. U.S. Army public website compromised. Who hacked it? Syria. The Syrian Electric Army is taking credit for hacking the U.S. Army public website. Okay? There was an article one of SC message. Okay, so yeah, so basically, America got hacked by Syria's military website, which is army.mil. All right, and pretty much what they said was your commanders are funding ISIS, in other words, and leading you to war against them, and they're training the same people you're going to fight. In other words, okay, so that alone just shows that America's cyber infrastructure is finished. In other words, all right, you can't even keep your internet from being hacked, keep your websites from being hacked, and that was from Syria. Syria did that. Chinese hack of federal personal files, including security clearance database. So China hacked the Office of Personal Management. So not only you have Syria, but you have China hacking America. Okay. And Russia. Russia hacks Obama's unclassified emails, and that's at the White House. So you have, and here, let me blow this up so you can see that. Big letters. All right? Russia hackers read Obama's unclassified emails, officials say. Okay? So you have 3 countries hacking America. So you have a low morale in Babylon, America. You have the weapons. America has not been training for war against Russia and China. They've only been training against the Arabs. All right? And you have America's cybersecurity being hacked. So what does that tell you, man? This place is finished. You cannot say America's going to continue going on forever. You are insane. You are retarded. You're going to die here. All right? So here's a scripture. Psalm 7:11. Yahweh judges the righteous, and Yahweh is angry with the wicked every day. That's why he's going to destroy America. He's tired of this place. Okay? Babylon, America is a filthy kingdom. If he turn not, he will whet his sword. He hath bent his bow and made it ready. That's right. He made it ready. He's getting them intercontinental ballistic missiles ready to go. Okay? He has also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordained his arrows against the persecutors. That's right. The instrument of death is the ICBM. All right, this is scripture. This is going to happen. You can't get out of it. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity, and hath conceived mischief, and brought forth falsehood. That's right, you so-called white people, man. All right, you have brought falsehood in this world, and iniquity, wickedness, and your mischief. All right, you're deceitful and you tell lies. And you are the biblical Edomites. If you are Esau, the so-called white man's Esau, all right, you're not getting out of that. All right, you are the devil the Bible speaks of. All right, he made a pit and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made. His mischief shall return upon his own head. That's right, because the Lord gonna put the spirit in Magog, Gog, Moab, okay, the Persians, the Medes. They're going to launch ICBMs over here, okay? You best believe that, all right? You can bet on that. And his violent dealing shall come down upon his own plate. That's right. Because you've dealt violently against the children of Israel, against the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, okay, who make up the 12 tribes of Israel. So it's going to come upon your own plate, all right? Recompense. Let's see if I got another news article. So let's see. This is the final news article. This is from Business Insider. Check this out. Let me blow this up for you so you get a good reading. Russia may still have an automated nuclear launch system aimed across the northern hemisphere. This article came out September 4, 2014. What do you think the Cold War was about in the 60s? They were testing their ICBMs to get ready for the final judgment. All right? It's already set in the silos. All right, so watch this. Let's read what Russia has, because Russia got Magog, who's Magog in the scripture, going to put in some work. All right, it's called the Dead Hand. Was a computer system that could autonomously launch all the USSR's nuclear weapons once it was activated across the entirety of the Soviet Union. You can see right here, nuclear forces ICBMs. That's all throughout Russia. You see all them? You ain't stopping all them nukes, America, no matter how much training you think you got, which you don't got none. From the articles that we've that I've done showed you ain't got no training for these nukes. All right. The Dead Hand was a weapon of last resort. It was created to ensure that even if the Soviet leadership was wiped out, a nuclear response could still be launched against the West and NATO in retaliation. After the Dead Hand was activated by Soviet military office, the first thing it does is check the communication lines to work out if there's anyone alive and in charge of the Soviet military. The Doomsday Handbook told National Geographic, if they're not alive, it takes over. Okay? If the Dead Hand did not detect signs of a preserved military hierarchy, the system will perform a check for signals of nuclear attack, such as change in air pressure, extreme light, and radioactivity. Okay, it's like if you're driving in a brand new car and the tire pressure kicks on because it's low tire. It's the same thing that they have. The technology. You see what I'm saying? Like, this place is done, man. You can't put your faith in Babylon America, Babylon America is no match for Russia and China. That's the title of this video. If the system concluded that a nuclear strike had taken place, Dead Hand would proceed to launch all the remaining nuclear weapons from all of the silos throughout the Soviet Union at targets across the northern hemisphere. All right? So it doesn't matter. Even if America did do a preemptive strike, okay, which is not going to happen, okay? They're going to be too busy trying to round up Jake here in America, okay? That's where martial law kicks in. They're not going to have the time to worry about Russia. They're going to be worried about what's going on in their own country, because there's going to be sedition and civil unrest here. Listen to this. This is funny, man. Quote, we've since asked the Russians if it's still on, Nicholas writes, at the national interest, and they assured us with complete confidence. That we should mind our own business, because they got them up and ready to go, okay? Russia about that life, all right? So, yeah, the Lord going to put the spirit in them to launch ICBMs at this bitch-ass place known as Babylon, America. So here's a scripture. Jeremiah 50:9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations. Russia's a great nation. China's a great nation. Iran's a great nation. Syria's a great nation. North Korea. You get the picture? Great nations from the North country. So that's dealing more specifically with Russia. And they shall set themselves in array against her. For then she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as a mighty excrement. None shall return to me. Meaning, yo, all them ICBMs are hitting their targets here in the city, okay? Like Miami. I'm here in Florida, all right? Places like West Palm, Miami, they getting hit. New York City, they getting hit, all right? California, LA, they're getting hit. Houston, they're getting hit. Hawaii, so on and so forth, all right? Atlanta, Chicago, you getting hit, all right? Verse 29, call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about, let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work. What is the work of America? Lies, deception, wickedness. Bruce Jenner, for example, homosexuality passing, okay? The constant rape, robbery, and pillage of so-called black, Hispanic, Native Americans, okay? Putting them in subjection, okay? Putting a lot of turmoil amongst their own people, all right? That's why. According to all that she hath done, do unto her, so let me get back to this. Do unto her, for she hath been proud against the Lord. That's right. Babylon, America, you are a proud nation. And just like in Proverbs 16, verse 18, pride goeth before destruction. You are very prideful. For she hath been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel. Didn't say any other body. Didn't say all nations. Didn't say a heathen nation. It said Holy One of Israel, because the Lord is dealing with the Israelites, the 12 tribes of the elect. Because you 2/3 are still not going to get this, even though I post this on this TV screen to show you in big highlight, like they do in the newsroom in CNN and Fox News, right? They show you what's going on their monitor, all right, and you're still not going to get it. Revelation 18:4 and 11. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. That's right. You know, you so-called black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man, come out of her. I just gave you an abundance of news articles proving that America's over. Okay, get out of her. Stop thinking America's gonna go on. Stop thinking your career and your livelihood and your family is gonna continue on, man. No, this is it. Final days, judgment day. Okay. Yahweh Shai and his father Yahweh are angry, and he's gonna put in work on this place. That ye receive none of her plagues, for her sins have reached unto heaven. Come on, her sins have reached unto heaven, and we should all know what sin is. What is sin? Transgression of the law. All right. Should I get that so we can read it? Yeah, I'll get it. We get it. Is it 1 John 4 and 4, I believe? Slakia, transgression. Yeah, let me get it right now. First John 3 and 4. Okay, so let me blow it up. So, you know, we don't have to be simple here. You can read it for yourself. So what is sin? 1 John 3 and 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is a transgression of the law. So let's go back. All right? Let's read on. All right? For her sins have reached unto heaven. Bruce Jenner, homosexuality. All right? Sodom and Gomorrah. That's you, America. That's you, Babylon. You're going to be destroyed for all this wickedness. All right? Laying our people in perpetual debt. All right? And Yahweh hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you. And double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled to her double. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. Okay, that's right. The Lord said, give her torment and sorrow. That doesn't sound nice. That doesn't sound like God is all love. Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay? That doesn't sound like that. It said, give her torment and sorrow. Give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and I am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. And that's America, because of your pride. You think no one can touch you. Well, best believe Russia's going to touch that ass. China's going to touch that ass. Iran's going to touch that ass. Okay? They're going to fuck you up. All right? Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine. Death and mourning and famine. And she shall be utterly burned with fire. With fire. What is going to give you fire? Okay? Let's go back. Let's go back. ICBMs, man. All right? Post-Cold War race. Nuclear weapons. Now let's get another one. We'll say, you get the point. Here we go. This is another general. He responded that his major concern with Moscow's program was a shift to mobile land-based ICBMs. Why? Land-based ICBMs. That's them silos. That's when they open up from Russia. They're going to fly over the Atlantic and hit all the cities I mentioned a couple of minutes ago. Why? Because he said they would be hard for us to hit in a first strike. That would happen only if the time came that the United States wanted preemptively to wipe out Russia's nuclear forces before Moscow attacked us. An extremely doubtful scenario, but Cold War first strike fears led to the building of tens of thousands of warheads, all right? Because they're so pride, they don't think it's going to happen. It's going to happen, all right? It is going to happen, all right? Because that's the Bible said so. So let's go back. And she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord Yahweh who judgeth her. Because that's the judgment. That's what the Bible's all about. The Lord judging. All right? And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. And who are the kings of the earth? The international bankers, starting Rothschilds, okay, Rockefellers. All right, the DuPonts, the Oppenheimers, all right? Those are the kings of earth, the international bankers, the money changers. They're the ones that are not going to be here in America when it gets destroyed. They already got underground bunkers outside the country. They're going to be up in the space stations. They're going to be underground, okay, in the underground tunnels that they built, cities that they built, because they know this is coming. They read the Bible, okay? They know it's coming. The devil knows his time is short. I'm not bringing up that scripture. That should be a scripture that everybody should know. The devil knows his time is short. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Halas, halas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Because that's right, because that's what a Babylon miracle is all about. Buying merchandises, okay, exploiting materialism. That's what America is all about. Exploitation of materialism. Okay, idolizing. Mammon. Your religion is mammon. You idolize it. You idolize wealth and prosperity. Okay? So that's your judgment. So, with that, I hope this was edifying for the elect, for you two-thirds who's get ready to be destroyed. You heathens, you so-called white man, you get ready to be destroyed. All right, Esau, your fucking days are numbered, man. You're over, buddy boy. All right, and Kal Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, all praises and salutation to Yakim out there pushing the truth and sincerity. Double honors to the apostle GMS. Okay, Shalom.